Hey guys, welcome to Gaming Over 50. We are back with a new game, Kenshi. Get that from your Steam, that's where I'm at. And it is an open world game, has some crafting, but mostly it's, I guess you'd call it adventure or something. You start as a dude, there's different scenarios how you start off, but basically you're trying to survive every day. There's no real end game to it. There is things if you want the story, you can kill off a few dudes, NPCs, for the story, but you don't have to do that at all, and it won't change really anything, other than those guys being dead. And for the most part, anybody with a name, you kill them, that's done. They're not ever going to be back. So there's no respawn, no nothing. Regular bandits that you might find that don't have names, they'll, you know, well, it could be a respawn, it could not be, but you'll, may not be the same dude, but it's random and they'll appear back again. But yeah, so this is what you'll start once you get it. It'll look like this. It just tells you, your computer. Mods will be wherever your mods are. And you got different ones. I have different ones that do different things, but you just go to the workshop and check out what it is, different things you might like to add in the game. Otherwise, let's get into it. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between this and Project Zomboid. Well, if you go to options, you can change certain things that you might want to do with your game. I usually don't, but you can. I have dismemberment rare, but it does happen, so you can lose an arm or a leg. Otherwise, the rest of it's just game stuff. This is the only one that affects the actual game. Different mods. So we'll hit new game, and this is the main one, the default one. But there's different stuff. You can do a skeleton, which is a robot. There's also well, we'll get into the different races and stuff here as soon as this loads up, and it's got character creation. But there's different factions, and if you're allied with one faction, sometimes another faction, the opposite faction, will hate you. So like there's Holy Nation and a Shek, and they're at war with each other. So if you help with one, you get negative on the other. Holy Nation, or you might think of them as the good guys, but they don't like women and they don't like robots. The Shek don't care about any of that stuff, but they're very aggressive and warlike, and they believe that only the strong survive. And then there's the United Cities, which don't allow vagrants. You have to have money, and they have slaves. Excuse me. So those are the three major factions. Then there's tons of smaller ones that do different things. A lot of them have no effect on you, what you're doing. So you hold left click and you can turn around. But basically what you see on your character, same as you see on NPCs, is what you have. And so if like somebody beat the crap out of me and they wanted to steal my stuff, they would steal my pants and my stick. That's it. That's all I got. But there are hivers, which here's the race stats. Good at laboring, or not so good at laboring as strength, but good at some of this other stuff. Skeletons, robots, positive and negatives. the Shek. Again, same thing over there. Back to human. Then there's Scorchlander, which is just a human, dark skin. Greenlander. This other one is just from a mod. And then you can change stuff. So like here, you can change however you want. However, let's say you look like this. If I got my strength up, my arms would get bigger. The more athletics I have, the more muscle tone I have here. But the more science I do, the less muscle tone you'll have. You know, because nerds are weak. So yeah, change your face, hair. I usually don't care, so I just leave it. But yeah, Bob. I'm good at farming, cooking, and science. Everything else is just normal. But anyway, just confirm. And because we didn't take any special type of starting scenario, we are in the hub. That's your normal. And if you hold the middle mouse button on the map, that gives you the turn, and then middle mouse to zoom in and out. I usually always try to always face north, then I can figure out where I'm at. Squin is a Shek city. And it said we already know the hut, Lone Shack, which is right there. But that's all we're going to know until we discover, either by looking at maps or getting close to places. But there's stuff everywhere. Down here, a bunch of Iraq. There's a bunch of little big ass spiders that eat you and kill you. There's other places like here in the crater that have like old workshops that you can loot, get stuff from. The Fog Islands is home of the Fog Men, which are a type of hivers that eat people. Then you got Cannibal Plains, which is full of cannibals. There's some different other places. You'll find cannibals everywhere. The Deadlands is there's a lot of acid rain, so it kills everything. So you don't want to live there. You'd be covered up in clothes. Anything like, because we have a shirt off, we burn from it. And then down here, it's ice cold, snow, and that's where some of the final bosses are, over here. Some of the stuff I've never even been to, like I've never been here, good. And I've been a little bit up in here. There's cities, the United Cities here. And then Ocran's Gulf, Ocran's Pride, Rebirth, that's all Holy Nation. And then Shek here and here. And then various little small places, like there's Swamp Ninjas down in here. There's Dust Ninjas all around here, or Dust Bandits. Different types of factions. See, these are the only ones we know. Hounds, Holy Nation, Outlaws, which are here in the hub. Dust Bandits, I wouldn't say the major bad guys, but they're the most prolific. Our research, we don't have a research table, so everything's going to be in red, but that's where it's done. Crafting, it's just, you can do it from the stations that you'll create, or it'll appear here. Every single one you have appears here. Then you can do it all from this one place. Squads is however many squads you have. Right now we only have one, this one, and we can have more. So each squad like has so many people. Say this one of 50. I'll usually put in like 2 rows. That way I can see them all. And then just make more squads and do different squads. Like if I have a squad that stays in base and all they do is craft stuff, then that's one squad. So you go to add squad to make more. Dialogue is just what people have said to you. AI is however you want things to have. Like for instance, heal allies. That means not your guys in your group, but any group that's you're allied with. You click it, you'll automatically start healing them if you have bandages and stuff. Help means you go there and you'll fight their battles for them. Rescue means you go and grab them and put them to bed or whatever. So if you want to help them out, you can, but you don't have to. But anyway, that's that. And this is the hub. Gate here, gate there. There'll be guards. And if you bring in, like if you're out there and bandits attack you, you bring them in here. Your guards will, if they don't like those bandits, they'll attack them and protect you. They're not doing it to protect you. They're just taking out the bandits. You know, you get hurt, you're just going to lay there. But they'll kill out bandits and all that. However, that means that if you brought in something that was tough and it kills all the guards, it'll just start going through. All the people come rush to aid, and it could kill them all. And then this town is nothing. Your vendors, people that sell things, there's 3 or 4 of them in here. But if they die, then there's no vendors at all. They don't respawn. They're just dead. This red means it belongs to somebody, and if you go there and try to open it, you're stealing. And like this case, it tells you it belongs to Holy Nation Outlaws. It's in the hub, but it's empty. The next one's empty too. See? And you have beds. Belongs to Holy Nation Outlaws. If you go into bed when you're hurt, it's ×8 healing bonus, so you don't want to walk around hurt if you can help it. But anyway, so when you start off, you're in a town, or you can be. You have buildings like this, and you'll see for sale 6,000, 4,800, 48, 15. This one, yeah, see 15. So, but like this one, not for sale. That means you can buy it. 1,500 coins, which is right here in your money. Cats is what they're called. You could buy it if you have the money. And then you could have a base in town. But you can't build anything outside of your building here. If you own this, you can only build stuff inside here, which is a limited amount of room. Same thing, that's why you'd want a bigger building. However, again, you can only build in there. So like a well, you can't build in a building. It needs to be out here. But you can't build out here because you don't own this town. But it's a good way to keep, start off, buy buildings. You have a place that could be yours. And then if you want to sell things, or if you need to be back in town, you have a place that's here. And then you can have a guy that can go and grab it. Storage isn't shared among your places. So if a guy was here and you lived somewhere else, he bought your stuff, he'd store it, you'd have to come there and get it to be able to use it. However, if like, for instance, you had a big enough room and you bought, like say a research bench, you had a research bench going, like the biggest one, you put all the stuff to research, he could sit in there and research, which would help all your stuff, not just here. You would have the bonuses or whatever you learned from it would be everywhere, every base you had. Yeah, but your different vendors have different signs. This one is for supplies, like traveling supplies, backpacks, and shoes usually. This is food. See, it's like food. Then you have bars, and they'll say bar. If you hit Alt, hold it down, it highlights whatever's around. Like in this case, there's a cup there, wooden bowl. Green means it's free to use, as in nobody owns it. So you could go grab it and sell. Red means that somebody owns it. See, so if we walked in here, for instance, say red, somebody owns it. That's what that means. Otherwise, you could go into sneak mode and try to steal it, but nobody's looking. But they got guards. See, so that's why that's red. But see how it doesn't say on the lower left, doesn't say empty, it means there's something in it. And if you hold Alt, that shows everything. But it's all in red, and you don't want to steal from these guys because you need to be able to live here. And then back over here is the Shinobi Thieves. Thief Boss. They are a neutral faction, which helps with if you steal a bunch of stuff, you can sell it to them. They don't care. Everybody else, if you stole stuff in here, these guys will care. They don't take fenced items. Shinobi does. There's also training stuff in here. You can train different things, thieving, lockpicking, and then there's beds. Yeah, and then there's certain buildings you can't go in. Well, you can, but they don't like it. Like this is the Holy Nations, well, hub guard. So there's doesn't allow. So you don't want to do that. But yeah, and then out here you got different things like there's iron resource there. What else we got? Copper. Copper and resources, all the things you're going to find out here, as well as stone. Iron's more useful in the beginning, but copper sells for more. This is the Lone Shack. Okay, so we are going to come out here and mine some copper because it pays a lot. Now, you also have inventory from here, or hit I. You know, and there's everything. You get a backpack, you put here, it opens up another area over here. This moves over, and another thing pops up. Weapon 1 is usually the main weapon you're going to use. However, because it's 2 slot, you want to use, like, say, put in a good weapon in there, especially a big weapon. And then weapon 2 is your secondary, but that's going to be like if you're... Okay, so see how Iron Club, and it's got blunt damage on that. This is indoor bonus +2. Most weapons don't have that. Most weapons are negative for indoor, as you're not supposed to fight with them. So you want to put a smaller weapon in here and your main weapon here. Now your main weapon could be a smaller weapon, still works indoors, but I usually pick a bigger weapon to do more damage, and then automatically equip a smaller weapon here, so when you go into a building you'll switch weapons. And there's different things. There's different shirts, different pants, boots, armor, headpiece, belt. Really, there's nothing except lanterns you can put here, which automatically give you light around you, because the less light there is, the longer it takes you to work. Excuse me. So you want to make sure you always have some light around you. And then here's, right now we're weightless because we don't really carry anything. Disguise means, like, if I was to go to Holy Nation and take out a guy, got his armor on, it'll put here, say, Holy Nation. And it'll look like I'm trying to disguise myself. Which is fine, except when you get around other Holy Nation dudes, they're not going to like that, and they're going to want to attack you. Then if you're a slave, you've been enslaved or whatever, which can happen. Happens all the time. If you get attacked by slavers or you get knocked out and slavers find you, they'll enslave you. So, we're working on the copper mine, which means everything is that's in its inventory, which means every bit of copper is going to appear here. Then we're going to need to transfer it from here to here. And like Zomboid, this is your main inventory. You only carry so much here, but if you had a backpack, you can carry more in it. Before weight starts becoming a problem. So now we go to statistics. We're working on this, which is laboring. See it going up? And it'll do that. The better you are at something, the more quicker you'll get resources out of it. Everything is like Zomboid, where it changes as to what you're using. Like we're using laboring right now by mining, which is not going to affect swimming at all. You have to actually be swimming to swim, to get swimming XP. So it'll stay doing this until this inventory fills up, which is usually 5. There's herds of animals that you can kill, and if you want to get food, if you need it, as well as hides to make clothing and gear, you'll need that. Some of the animals are pretty tough, but you don't want to mess for are groups of goats, because they'll kill you. They don't attack you, but if you attack them, they'll kill you. They'll attack you. See, like, that's a robotic spider. Iron spider's a robot. That's the gray. Skeletons the same way. They're going to be in gray. Oil instead of blood. All the rest of it, they don't have hunger. And they don't get tired. Bad side of robots or skeletons are that the Holy Nation doesn't like them. So, but yeah, but see, they only got the attention of a few of them, and they're walking around, and that's random. You'll find them. Now, what you want to do normally is sit around and wait for something like this to happen, and then go loot the bodies. But we're not going to do that. We're doing something different. See, so I got 15 to 16 to still be weightless. One more, and it's no longer weightless. However, we got to watch out for these guys. And the more weight you have on you, the slower you're going to be. However, the more you'll build strength up. Kind of like carrying heavy stuff in Zomboid. Yeah, see, none of these guys are coming out, so they want to attack them. Let's see, these are more of these wild bulls. Maybe the same group, looks like. Yeah. But they're all going to die. See. Now, it'd be nice if these dudes, Hungry Bandits. So what you want to do in the beginning is wait for groups like this to happen, especially around town. The guards will kill them, then go loot them. See, number 19 and lightweight. But we are doing something different. So ambiguous amphibian did a challenge of just one bread, but he was in a mod for that gave him everything needed right off the bat to be able to make the bread and then sell it. We don't have that option. We don't have that mod. So what we're going to do is get money together, build a little house, or get a shack here in town where we can sell our bread if we make any, and try to make our money that way. We are not going to loot anybody. We may loot some animals only for hide, but not for meat or anything. Only thing we can eat is the bread that we make ourselves. However, I tried to do this playthrough a couple hours ago, and because it's a random where you can find all the stuff. Look, they're still fighting. See, now these things got involved, and it looked like maybe a person or two. All bulls. Let's see. Hungry Bandit. Yeah, see? And it'll come back alive. See, rebooting. However, if we went and looted it and took out its electronics and stuff like that, it would be dead. Same thing with whatever animals you see here. If they're not dead, like dying, if we loot it, they'll automatically go straight to being dead. But no, we're not going to do that. We're strictly, it's only, we can eat the bread we make, although I may have it so that if I really had to keep this thing going, I might buy bread there. Because that's what I had to do. I had to buy 2 pieces of bread, one at one time, one at another. Say this swamp turtle. Excuse me. Kill it. But we don't need to. Okay, so first we're going to go over here. Excuse me. And sell some stuff. So we just hold shift and right click, and it sells the whole group. We went from 1,000 to 2,029. Now I have a mod that puts in a whole lot more inventory in these, as well as lots more money. So that's why there's so much stuff. Usually it's only like a few little things here. So anyway, gear starts off as shoddy, or prototype could be, is another one. You know, prototype would be like gray. This will be white. Then you have standard. And let's see, I thought there was something else. Yeah, high is the next one. And then there's like Mastercraft and like, I think like Legendary maybe or something. But anyway, that's how you make them too. When you start making stuff, you make them in prototype grade or shoddy. And then as you get better at the same thing, you'll make them better and better. However, some things you'll need, you know, the blueprints for, like heavy weapons. To make the Mercenary Club and Spike Club, you need to have this. But that requires bench level 2 and then money. But anyway, so you see all different types of stuff. There's a lot of different types of weapons that do different things, as well as crafting materials. And research artifacts here, as well as another type of book. There's this book, and then there's another book, blue one, that you'll need. And they get harder and harder, and it costs more and more. Anyway, all these blues and then yellows are all research schematics. We can't use any of them yet. Well, like that one we could, but that's for training, and that costs 25,000. So that's not happening. What we need are building materials so that we can build things. Then later on, things you'll need like armor plating to make armor, certain types of armor. Same thing up with the copper alloys, you'll need that too. But there's nothing here we need right now. So we will come back to the hub. And just right click. So WASD is just map. That moves this. What you want to do is right click. I don't know, there's a fight going on in here. What is it? Possibly the Holy Nation going against Hub Guards? Yeah. So they will arrest the Holy Nation dudes and put them in the jails, prisons, or throw them out of town, one of the two. So you could go there and could, if we weren't playing our challenge, which is not going to loot any person, we could loot the Holy Nation guys. And that's a great way to get gear as well as money, because you just grab it all, then you sell it. Here we go, 2. Well, eventually you're going to need some books, but we don't need them yet. Now we will go nowhere. Don't want to steal. And we will need water to make the bread. Now, a playthrough, say this pack is unconscious, it means that we can't steal from it without, they won't like it if they find out. But it has gear. All the stuff that it was selling, the merchant was selling, is on their pack animals. And every single person you see, like this dude or this guy, he's got a crossbow and a sword. That means if you killed him or knocked him down and try to loot him, he would have that same exact stuff that you could take from him. Same thing with this one, same with that one. Same thing with this one. Everything they have, you can loot. So I could buy this. That's what I did in my playthrough of this starting off. What happened was I did everything, was doing it all. I was out here and I got attacked by bandits and they killed me. Well, left me for dead in the ground. I bled out and died. And there was nobody around that could save me, which happens. So I think what I'm going to do in this time is we are going to see if there's anybody here. $30,000 cats. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, that's probably it. Probably nobody else is going to join. But yeah, I bought this house here, repaired it. Yeah, okay. So just right click on it once you buy something. It has a menu to repair. And it tells you what it needs. See, we need 4 or 5. We need one more. Before it becomes usable. Let's see, like right there it says bounty. That means yeah, they're just being taken away right now. But anybody with a bounty on their head means you find, like this guy. So if you went to the Holy Nation with this dude, you could turn him in. Anyway, you can talk about different things. I'll have different stuff to say. Yeah, see, you just joined me. So now we got 2. So then just highlight them both or shift click. And there you go. So anyway, down here, walking, jogging, running out as fast as you can. This is running as fast as the other person, the slowest person can. When you're in a group, you want to do that because your athletics, see, this is her, Melinda. She's athletics 46. She's going to be faster than us. So she needs to slow it down for us to do it, for us to stay up with her. Otherwise, she's going to leave us behind. So you want to be at that. And then we will right click and see if they'll go out. And yeah, but you got to watch out for that because sometimes you got to do it twice. Sometimes the AI is not so good. Oh, see, now he just got unconscious because they beat him to death, these bandits, because he wouldn't give up his food. He didn't have any, so that's what they do. Now, she has 2 bandages, Linda's book, and some food. We are going to get rid of that. I guess I'll stay with that. But she can bandage, so we will right click and she will automatically run over. And then wherever was red becomes yellow. and then he's in recovery coma, so he'll have to wake up in a bit. So we will go right click, pick up, and go back in town. Click her again, go up here, drop off a bed, and there. Now he is resting. If you hit 1, you go up to the next floor. See, it's going up pretty fast. So we'll send her back out so that she can mine some stuff. And what she's doing, I don't know. Got to watch out for the AI as far as their pathing goes. And if we go to statistics, go to laboring. See, she's laboring. Steadily going up. Now, once we fill up inventory, strength will start going up because it's from carrying heavy stuff. Running around as fast as you can builds up athletics. And the faster, the more higher it is, the faster this goes, and then the more you can get. Here's that lantern. It'll be going out eventually. But yeah, and he will stay there until now. I can get him up, and he'll come back and start working. See, and he'll heal some, just not very much. And whatever's hurt, like if he has a leg hurt, something like that, he'll start limping. It'll take longer to get there. If his arm is hurt, he won't be able to carry as much, or even pick up a weapon or carry another person if you needed him to. But we'll just do this. So he's heavy, so now it'll be her. See, weightless still. But yeah, we'll do this until we can get enough money to finish up building our house, repairing it. We need a research bench so we can research wheat farms. Only ones we can do on your own is green fruit, which is not going to do us any good. And then we need an oven to make the bread, but then you need a grain silo to turn the wheat into flour to be used to make the bread, which requires water. So if we built a place with a farm, first we got to build a research bench, and then we got to research to get where we can make the farms. Then to make the farm, we have to get buildings, at least one building, and then the farm, which requires the actual item you're going to make. So in this case, it takes like 10 wheat to make a wheat farm. And you'll get more than 10 back from it, but that's what it takes to research it. Then it takes like, I think it's like 2, but it takes like 10 to actually build the farm. Then we'll need a well to get the water. There's a roaming trader right there. So you want to look for the first guy. If you find him, might be dead. Yeah. The actual trader himself is dead. He's not there. Oh no, those are nomads. Never mind. Those are just wandering people. But yeah, you need water and the wheat straw, or wheat straw to make wheat flour, straw flour, and then straw flour and water to make bread. So it's going to take us quite a bit. We need lots of building materials. So we will just keep doing this. See, she must have, yeah, strength of 11. They're 25. That's why she can carry so much without it affecting her. See, still lightweight. Excuse me. Okay, now it's moderate. Good enough. So we will come over here. Try this place first. Now, if, like in this case, she has these bandages, I mean, she's the only one that can use them because it's in her inventory. However, if I put them in the backpack, somebody can take them out of the backpack, just like food, and use it themselves. So always try to keep everything in your backpack, and then whatever doesn't fit your backpack, put here. But see how the big weapon, attack bonus +8, indoor penalty -10. See, so that's what'll happen if she'll be at -10 to fight inside. So she needs a smaller weapon. So let's go in here and sell some stuff. Go back to 0. And let's look. Anything? Nope, nothing. Does have an ancient science book, which is what you're going to need for later on, but oh, we can't afford it yet. Oh, wait. Let's do that. And then click on each guy. And that's to sell whatever's in their inventory. So now we have 2,000 coins. It's not enough. But I'll take 4 of those for now. Then come over here to the hub and see if we can find. See how they're running together? So sometimes you might have to click back on this to get them to stay together. See all the blood splatter? Polynesian Outlaws, Slaver Caravan Guard. If you become a slave, say escape slave, slavers will try to capture you again. Same thing with Holy Nation. Okay, take all that. And click back over there. And whoever has building materials will add them. And then if you click again, every person that's in your group will automatically go to fix that. So if you have some, and the more people that are on it, the faster it'll go. So let's see, we need a small research bench. Then you use your less than and greater than signs to turn it around however you want it. The little stick figure dudes are where you can have people access it. So in this case, we only need it from the front. So we can put it as far in the corner as you want. Drop it down, then hit confirm. Whoever has building materials will automatically drop it off. Then, if you click, like I said, click it again, you get more help building it. However, people with less science can't build it as fast. Then you hit show research. and it's whatever you can find. Everything in white you have. However, some things, like, oh, that's fine, but yet we go. Like here, it says book times 2. It means you need 2 of those books in here. All the stuff that's you was research has to be in the inventory. So we need that. We'll do item storage. This is from a mod. This is just clothing. I never use it, but it doesn't cost anything to do. So a lot of times I just do it. It also helps with your science. So there's no reason not to do it. Like, other than if you have a dude that doesn't have time. So we can do flower storage, water tank, building material storage. We're going to do that one. So you can do that from there, or you can do it from here, tech. And it shows you these things that are queued. Wait, no. And then just do that. But see, it says paid, means there's nothing. But we need to go here and here, so we are going to, and then this is also storage, so you can just do that and send it over, and it'll stay in there. So let's check statistics here. Let's go with science 1. Science 1. So he is going to do that. She needs to be out making money. So I'm going to send her back over. Now, they have what's called jobs. That's this. Ranged, if you want your guys to attack the range first until somebody gets close, and they'll go to swords. Sneak, you want them to sneak around. Taunting, passive, hold. I don't ever use any of those. Sometimes maybe block, because it helps with your block skill. But otherwise, like, we're going to send her over here. We can shift right click, and there it is. That's her job. That means that's all she's going to want to do is that. Then if we type in, say, rescue, shift right or left click on that, it has these. And these means anything happens to him or anybody else, that's the next job. After she does this, she's going to want to find and rescue and find and put in bed. Same thing with medic. Automatically she wants to heal him. But we don't need that right now. So we'll just do that. And then we'll watch him. And he will do all the research that's in, that's here. Everything that's in this queued up, he'll do it all, as long as we have them there. And different ones, like this one is actually for a mod. Different stuff, same thing with that one. Core. Build a small house, which is like the one we're in. That's what that is. But yeah. So eventually, once you have a base and your guys are doing stuff, whatever ones, like, I always have different groups, guys that go out and adventure and pick up stuff and raid things, loot. And then I have dudes that stay at the base and work. And they'll all have jobs, which we'll go into more as when we get a base and have things to do. We'll set up jobs and you'll see what all they can do. But anyway, item storage. Item storage means you can put pretty much anything in them, while gear storage is strictly for certain things. So yeah, we're going to research this stuff, and then them back out. Because we really need... See, all these require books. And then some of these, like that's 4 books. And then like this one's only 1 book, but it requires this one first to be able to do. But yeah, so basically you're just going to spend time, your guys doing stuff. It's almost an AFK game, except that you have random people that can come by here and kill you. So you really can't go AFK. Unless you have your whole base set up, everything's good. Eventually, you want base, walls everywhere around, 1 gate, and then you'll have dudes on turrets on the walls. So anybody attacks or come near it, they get attacked. Now, they won't get attacked until they attack you. However, if you did under where was it? AI. Yeah, shoot first, ask later. But you don't want to do that, because otherwise it'll just kill anybody comes around. Okay, he's still working. I'm not going to use any of the books up yet. We do need this one. Yeah, that's why. Okay, so that'll be the last one. Last thing we can use. Our last book, I should say. And we are out of money. Yeah, it'll tell you what it's doing, operating machine. But it'll stay like, I can't remember whenever he stops working. Idle, I think. But it'll say that he's there trying to operate that, but there's nothing going on. Now, I could make it his job, and he'll try to always do that, but right now it doesn't matter. But that means if I click off of it, he'll just stand right here. But if I had it as a job, he'll always go back to it. We'll just keep it like it is until, yeah, see, we'll have a wheat farm. Baking, which means all we need now, yeah, see, normal, aimless. Now if I right click and put as a job, anytime that it comes up, he'll start looking at it. He'll start doing it. Okay, so we're going to send him back over here. Now, you watch here under efficiency, 2 of 2 now, 80%. That's why you always want to try to get as many people as you can that allows to do the one job. So if it allowed 3, you really should have 3 people there, always working on something. Like cooking, a cooking stove, only 1 person can work there. Yeah, we need to get money. And then we need the building materials. We may end up having to go like down to Squint or something. So that's the next town. or possibly just go up north into Holy Nation and see if we can't find some people there. There are farms that have food and stuff to sell. Alright, close enough. Let's get over here. I want to get this thing going as quickly as we can. Yeah, see, because I have that job, she wants to run back. Constantly do it. Now she don't. And there's one of the engineering research you'll need for bigger buildings. You'll need one of those. And nothing. Yeah, if we were trying to do a normal thing. What was this? Tech hunters. Let's see. They want to join. 7,500 cats. No thanks. See, she ran up here because we were to go there. But because I had him talk, it went to the main, very first person, and it went to talk. Everybody else follows the old orders. There's green fruit, but we don't need that. We need water and wheat. I'd love to be able to come over here and loot these guys, but not the traders and vanguards really, because then they won't help us. See, hit the arrange button and then move all these over. Nothing. She's got a backpack. He doesn't. You can't trade with the Shinobi Guild until you become a member, and I believe that's 10,000 cats, and I forgot to sell. Okay, 2,800, but only 3, which is not enough. See, small storm house is that one right there. Small shack is this one. That takes 5. We don't have enough. So we're going to have to keep going. And sometimes your characters have things they say. You never really know why. And I've never found it really matters too much. But you may want to pay attention. Alright, well, it's been an hour. So we will call this episode right here. And maybe in the next one we can get enough money together, enough resources to want to at least have like 5,000 before I go like to Squin and see if I can, if we haven't made it, got the materials by then. We can make our own building materials, but it requires other stuff to build. And right now we need food. So like if we could buy all the water we needed for it, all we need is the wheat straw, or the straw flour I should say, then we can make our own food. But we're not there yet. Okay, well that'll be the end of this episode. Thank you for stopping by and watching. We will see you in the next one. Later.